Ma'am, when was it the first time you stepped into the campus?
That was in the year 1997, July. I don't think any of you were born. It was very long, 25 years back. That's when I first stepped into this institution. And ever since, this has been my second home, I would say that.
So ma'am, how did you get into the teaching profession? Was it by chance or was it a conscious choice that you made?
Before coming into this, I was actually working in the industry. I worked in Chennai, Mumbai and Delhi. But after marriage, I had a break, and that's when, instead of sitting at home idle, I thought, let me pursue B.Ed. So as soon as this was in Delhi. Okay, so when I finished B.Ed, I got a call from Presentation Convent, New Delhi, to teach for their +2 students, accounts and business studies. That's how I started my teaching career, and I realized that I had a flair for teaching and I enjoyed connecting with the students.
Ma'am, is there any teacher or source of inspiration to whom you look up to?
There are many people who have inspired, shaped and molded me. But I would like to definitely mention about one of my favorite teachers when I was doing +2. That was in Chennai. I did all my studies over there. Miss Maithili, my accountancy teacher. She had a beautiful way of driving home the accounting concepts only by asking questions. And the question is, why? She will just ask why, let us say for instance, why do we pass journal entries, for example? Someone will give an answer from the class. Why? I'll tell you the entire, it will go on for 15-20 minutes, but by the end of that session also, the concepts would have been so clearly embedded in our minds. And I think I've tried to emulate her methodology in the class, and maybe that's the reason why I love accounting. That's one of my favorite subjects.
Ma'am, what all changes have you seen in the campus throughout your journey and how can we trace it back?
Tremendous changes. When I joined in 1997, there used to be only one block, which was called as the main block then. Now it is called as Block 1. And then we used to have Block 2 coming up, the foundation and maybe up to the first ground floor. It was just coming up at that time. And we had now whatever we have where the bank is, that's where we used to have a canteen, a shed kind of a setup. What you see now, the central block, the football ground was there, but the central block area, PU block area, all these were parking lots. Now I think the magnificent buildings, modern equipments and all the state-of-art buildings I see. I think we have around 8 or so, and I have been part of the entire growth of this campus, grown along with that. Wonderful transformation since then.
I'm so curious to know what was your first class and the batch, what you thought in the class and which block you thought the class in the university. So can you share about that?
So as I told you, July 1997, at that time we had only the main block, which was then called main block. Now it is called Block 1. My first class was with the first PUC batch of 1997-1999. But I'm not sure whether it is a financial accounting class or a business studies class. But that is this much I remember. I first started with the PU teaching. It was an integrated college at that time. There was no degree college separate and PU separate. They were both together. So all of us in the Department of Commerce and Management, that's how it was called then, together as a Commerce and Management, we used to teach in PU and in the degree classes. That's how it was.
Can you point towards the
This used to be the main block then. Now it is called as Block 1, since we have so many other blocks which has come up after that.
block? I've been there in the campus for around 25 years. So have you ever experienced a generation gap in terms of the student needs and what they want? So, have you ever experienced that?
Yes, experiencing also. We see every new batch that comes into the campus a new learning for us, completely different. And I think previously generation gap used to be at least for about initially 25 years, then it shrunk to 10 years or so. Now I find that gap every year we find a new batch coming into the campus. Like those days, students' expectations were very simple, minimal, within reach rather, I would say that. And also they sought advice from us. They came to us to ask for guidance for many things. Nowadays what I find is the students are well sorted in what they want. They know what they want and they can fend for themselves. It's very good to be independent. Definitely we appreciate that they exactly know that clarity is there, what they want, and they also have kind of worked out how they can achieve it also. But still my advice would be, do also seek advice from people who are experienced, because we have been there, we have seen it all. Maybe some things are based on our failures and learnings that can be shared. So, and that is, I feel, life's lessons, are the greatest lessons of all. So you should, because sometimes, you're all spoiled for choices, I would say. There are so many things. You may be confused. To make the right choice, which will have a lasting impact for you, it's always good you go seek advice. And not that you have to follow that, but you can consider that, how it will be beneficial to you.
Ma'am, the education industry is very dynamic. So what all transitions have you experienced in teaching and learning over the past years, and how have you evolved in this whole process?
From the traditional chalk and board method, we moved to group discussions, presentations, case studies, where the classroom became so much alive and active. Otherwise, it was more of monotonous, one person speaking and asking questions, and only then responses from the students were elicited. Like this became a dynamic kind of a live classroom. And from theory basis like orientation, we moved to application oriented of thinking and discussions in the classroom. My evolving as faculty, it has been a great sea change for me, because I have been taught in the traditional way. I started off my teaching in a traditional way, but slowly when things around changed, we have to evolve, right? Adapt to it. So did that, a lot of changes, learned a lot and incorporated that in the classrooms. And I would say that the learning has been two-way, because from my students I have picked up a lot of learning. When we give them presentations and assignments, they do a lot of research. They don't go with one, and it's a group assignment, right? So many minds are working on it together. So they bring such wonderful thoughts and insights. Has been a great learning for me too.
Ma'am, looking at your larger-than-life demeanor and passion for teaching, I was wondering what keeps the teacher in you alive?
I take up challenges very positively. Okay. And something which our former Vice Chancellor shared once, that kind of connected with me. He said how we have to be is a kind of internal divine dissatisfaction. I'll quote, divine dissatisfaction, which means for me how it is, I might have done, but I'm never satisfied. Can I do it better? Can I do it better? Will it be done? Can it be done in a better way, which will be reaching out to a larger people, beneficial to them? This is what keeps me going.
Life is not always easy. So ma'am, what was the most challenging moment in your career? And how did you manage to balance both your personal and professional life?
Challenging moments come up every day as a head of the department. Every day something or the other crops up, and I had a very able team to support, and we sorted things out very well. But otherwise, I think I would say that COVID-19 period was the most challenging. See, we all used to think that education is something it has to happen face to face, only in the classroom. This disrupted everything, and the time gap that we had from March 20th or so when we closed on 2020, and by May 18th, I think we started our classes. Within that time, completely upside down from everything which we did face to face or offline, we had to convert it to an online teaching, our examinations, our learning how to teach using the online devices and tools and so on, conducting examinations online, looking at what would be the challenging question paper, because we know we are not going to see the student who's sitting and writing. So we had so many different thoughts of whether it should be an open book. Now, if it's an open book, we have to learn how to set questions. Because it cannot be a direct question. It has to be something where they read from the book, but they have to apply their mind to still write. So what should be the question paper pattern? Then how much of screen time? Everything, I'll tell you, the type of questions, the number of questions, and how you're going to completely run the examination itself. Our department meetings. And then we had synchronous. Now it's like, oh, that's also a normal part of life. But that transition period was most challenging. And work-life balance, if you tell me, we 18 months, I think, we all did our education from homes, right? Without coming to our classrooms. Unimaginable before that, but now it's all possible. At that time, there was a seamless transition of work, personal work and your professional work. There was no difference, and we used to run meetings till 1 p.m. in the night, our core committee of coordinators and all. And next day morning we had our own classes and all to do this. So work-life balance, if you ask me a question on that, I would say I'm a workaholic. My team would vouch for that, because I used to send late night mails and ask for things and all that, but I had great support from them and my family. Very important, to have family support. Fortunate to be blessed with an understanding husband and a son. So encouraging to allow me to pursue my dreams. Without that, I would not have been able to achieve whatever I could do that.
As you seen the birth of CUSCF, so where do you see it in like next 5 years? What is the growth of it that you can sense it?
So, School of Commerce, Finance and Accountancy, Christ University. It has a niche, a name, a reputation. And this we gained over a period of time. Okay, if I'm not sure whether you all know, at least for the last 16, 17 years, or definitely for the last 15 years, I have the list with me. The Times India Today ranking, best college ranking, we have been always in the top 6. In 2017, we were ranked 2nd in the country, just after Sri Ram College of Commerce. And we have consistently maintained that. Now these rankings and all, it's just an indication that we are there on the top. But how did we reach there is because of the kind of programs that we have developed, keeping in mind what are the needs of the students and what would be relevant for them for the rest of their life as such. So I would say the uniqueness of the School of Commerce, we have, besides the best of the academics, the curriculum that we have for the different programs, we have a lot of activities for the all-around development of students. We don't focus only on academics as one area of focus for development. It should be an all-around development, and I'm sure all of you have witnessed so many activities we organize all through the year. That is one. And second thing is the focus about professional certifications. So as you pursue your, say, BCom degree, there are so many colleges in the country, students studying BCom and coming out with a BCom degree. How does a Christites BCom stand out? There you are not just holding your BCom degree, you're going to have a global professional certification in your hand. Now this again, this was in the year 2014 or so. That was the time when there was a lot of talk going around. I mean, paper articles. We have this World Economic Forum and McKinsey all talking about the skill gap, and also that India is having the larger demographic dividend or advantage because of the largest youngest population in the world. And then there have a comparison see, now I think the average in the Indians average age is around 28 or so, but the same thing in China is around 39 or something, and in US also something close like that. So they have a aging population. Japan has a very high aging population. Now there are a lot of industries there, they have to survive with workforce, but their population is aging in US, China, Japan and Europe and all many countries. But these companies, where will they look for workforce? They will look for countries where there are working age workforce in that age group. Like India is the first destination that they will look for. Now when they come to look for in India, do we have the skill sets? Do we have people for? We have the human resource, but are they skilled enough that they will employ you? That's when we started thinking, no, we'll prepare our students to be employable in the global market. And that's when we started introducing the CISI. First in 2013 we passed the MOU for that, and in 2015 we got into an MOU with IMA and Miles Education for the CMA program. And then III came in. And if you see in the DPS, under the School of Commerce, we have so many such collaborations. Now with that as our basis and foundation, CUFA will grow, will keep growing. And what I foresee in the next 5 years or so, we'll have more specialized and niche programming. Not like the generic BCom with specializations. You will start off, you will make your choice at the time of joining itself, and you will have very specialized programs right from the beginning, and you can call yourselves to a level of expertise in that by the time you complete your graduation. That's what I would wish for the School of Commerce.
So ma'am, as the director of ICC and holding various position during your tenure in Christ Redeemed University, what will be your words of wisdom for our and upcoming generation?
Words of wisdom, I don't know, but words that I would like to share, which has worked for me, and I believe that, which also kind of associated with our excellence and serves the motto of our university. Whatever you do, however small, don't compromise on quality. Give your best and do it passionately. It should be not for whom you're doing it, but who is doing it. Okay, it's because when I'm doing some work, whatever small it might be, a work, I don't know, I can just say maybe I have to clean the board for the classroom. It's something that I'm doing, and it's something coming out of me, and it has to be best. So give your best to everything. Don't look at any rewards. Your reward is your own internal satisfaction. The other outer rewards, that will come automatically in its own time. It will be coming. That's my first advice. Give your best. Second, I would say that you're all, as I mentioned earlier, you're all spoiled for choices. You have so many choices, good and bad, placed before you. You have to be very conscious that you make the right choices. For that, I would say definitely seek the help of people who have crossed that level, maybe just senior to you, or maybe your parents or your siblings or anybody else whom you can look up to, but seek advice and make the right choices, because it will impact you. And any action of yours, that's my third message to you. Before you jump into it, what you're going to do, your actions, probably you should look at what would be the impact of this action on me, yourself, okay? So impact of action on you, for your family, and for the larger community. It shouldn't hurt anybody. We should not be selfish and looking myopic in what we are doing, and never do anything rash. And that immediate gratification and all that, maybe it might give you that momentary joy and happiness, but it will never last long.